The Lagos sun was relentless, scorching the earth with a heat that seemed to demand surrender. Dust swirled around the bustling streets of Ajebamidele, where hawkers shouted over honking okadas and the air carried the sharp scent of frying yam. Amid the chaos, 10-year-old Amara weaved through the crowd, her tray of roasted peanuts and packaged yam fries balanced expertly on her head. Her worn sandals slapped the pavement as she dodged a speeding tricycle, her movement swift and fearless, like a dancer who knew every step by heart. "Amara, come quick, these yam fries no-go sell themselves," her mother, Nkechi, called from their small roadside stall, a wooden structure patched together with zinc sheets. Nkechi sat by a sizzling pan, flipping golden slices of yam, her face glistening with sweat but her smile unyielding. Her faded wrapper was knotted tightly, and her hands moved with the rhythm of someone who'd turned hardship into an art form. A bucket of sachet water sat beside her, next to a small table for customers. "Coming, Mama," Amara shouted back, flashing a toothy grin at a passing shopkeeper who waved lazily. She set her tray down carefully. "Where's the knife for cutting?" Nkechi pointed to his stool. "Right there, near the water bucket." "You too fast for your own good, Amara." Amara giggled, grabbing a sachet of water to sip. "Mama, one day I go shine like Davido. I go carry you to Dubai, no stress." Nkechi laughed, her voice rich and warm. "Dubai ku? Carry me to Abadan first, I beg." Their life in Ajebamidele wasn't easy. They shared a single room in a crowded face-me-I-face-you compound, boiling water before drinking and sharing a toilet with a dozen neighbors. Yet, Amara and Nkechi had a joy that couldn't be bought, a spark that lit up their small world. Nkechi had raised Amara alone since her father vanished before she was born. He'd left no trace, no call, no address. Nkechi had searched for him once, but Lagos had a way of swallowing people whole. She let him go, choosing to focus on her daughter instead. "Your papa wasn't a bad man," Nkechi would say when Amara asked. "Maybe he had his reasons, but we're fine without him." Amara would nod, munching on yam fries, her heart unburdened by hate. She didn't know her father, but she knew love from her mother, and that was enough. "Time to sell again," Amara said, tying a scarf over her braids and hoisting her tray. "This son no go roast me today." "Wait," Nkechi called, handing her a crumpled 50 naira note. "Buy a recharge card if sales are good. No need to borrow from Anibos." Amara pocketed the money with a grin. "If I sell fast, I fit by cold Fanta SEF." Nkechi shook her head, smiling as Amara darted back into the street's chaos. The road pulsed with life, children chasing bottle caps, Danfo drivers shouting, and vendors hawking everything from gala to akara. Amara moved through it like she owned it, her voice ringing out, "Buy your sweet yam fries. Fresh peanuts, no sand." At night, when Ajebamidele quieted, Amara and Nkechi would sit on a worn mat outside their room, sharing roasted corn and dreaming under the stars. "Imagine we get generator," Amara would say. "Fan go blow us like we day America." Nkechi would chuckle. "Imagine tiles on our floor. Imagine a fridge full of juice." They'd laugh until their sides ached, holding their dreams like precious seeds waiting to sprout. Their life wasn't perfect, but it was theirs. Little did they know, a stranger on a dusty road would soon turn their world upside down. The sun was merciless, baking the cracked pavement as Tunde stepped out of a sleek black SUV. His tailored blazer felt out of place in Ajebamidele's gritty chaos. Flies buzzed around a nearby akara stall, and the air was thick with exhaust and fried dough. His assistant, Femi, a wiry man in a polo shirt, clutched a folder of documents and gestured toward a dilapidated building across the road. "Sir, this is the site," Femi said. "A UK company wants a feasibility report for low-cost housing here." Tunde sighed, lifting his sunglasses. The structure was a mess, rusted zinc roofs, cracked walls, and a stray chicken pecking at the ground. 8 years in London had softened him to this kind of disorder. Back there, life was neat, predictable. Here, it was a symphony of noise, blaring horns, shouting hawkers, and high-life music from a roadside shop. "Let's inspect it," Tunde said, rolling up his sleeves. "Get photos of the foundation and any structural damage." They walked the perimeter, Femi snapping pictures while Tunde noted the crumbling cement and exposed rebar. "This place is more history than house," he muttered. Then, across the road, he caught sight of a girl in a faded blue dress, her tray of snacks balanced effortlessly as she laughed with a customer. Her energy was magnetic, and for a moment, Tunde's focus wavered. He shook it off. Back to work, he told himself, moving on. Hours later, the inspection was done, but the SUV wouldn't start. Femi tinkered under the hood, muttering about faulty wiring. "Oga, I go find mechanic," he said, jogging off into the crowd. Tunde waited, the heat pressing down. 30 minutes turned to 40. Frustrated, he locked the car and started walking toward the main junction, hoping to catch a Kiki or cab. The road was a battlefield. Okadas zipped past, Danfos swerved, and hawkers darted between vehicles. Tunde hesitated, his polished shoes kicking up dust. Crossing felt like a gamble he wasn't ready for. Then, a giggle cut through the noise. Amara stood across the road, her tray steady, watching him with amusement. "Uncle, you dey fear this small road?" she called, her voice sharp and playful. Tunde blinked, caught off guard. "It's chaotic," he said, rubbing his neck. "No traffic lights, no order." Amara laughed, her tray wobbling slightly but never falling. "Oga, this not Ajebamidele. If you wait for traffic light, you go sleep here. Come, I go help you cross, but you go buy my yam fries and peanuts." "All of them?" Tunde raised an eyebrow. "A deal? Huh. Yes-o. And you must eat them in front of me," she said, grinning. Chuckling, Tunde pulled out a wad of Naira notes. "You drive a hard bargain. Here, take this." Amara counted the money like a pro, then set her tray down and packed her goods into a nylon bag. "This one's spicy, this one's sweet. You go enjoy 'em." Taking his hand like he was a child, she led him across the road, shouting at Okadas and weaving through gaps with ease. "Move, a beg," she yelled at a reckless driver. Tunde stumbled but kept up, his heart racing. On the other side, he was panting, his blazer streaked with dust. "Congrats, uncle," Amara said, folding her arms. "You don't survive Ajebamidele Express." Tunde laughed, catching his breath. "What's your name?" "Amara, but you fit call me Mara," she said with a wink. "Well, Mara, you're one of a kind." She handed him the bag of snacks. "Oya, eat." They sat on a nearby bench, sharing the fries and peanuts. The flavors were bold, nostalgic. 2 boys passed by, eyeing the food hungrily. Amara waved them over, and Tunde shared a handful of snacks. "Eat well," he said, smiling. Amara tilted her head, watching the boys run off. "You do that plenty?" Tunde asked. "When I can," she shrugged. "You're not bad yourself, uncle." They laughed, the moment light and warm. Tunde glanced at the thickening crowd. "I need to get back to work. Can you show me where to catch a Kiki?" Amara led him to a quieter junction, pointing out landmarks, a jollof rice stall, a barber shop blasting Afrobeat. "This my world," she said proudly. "I know every corner." At the junction, Tunde flagged down a Kiki. "I'll be back tomorrow," he said. "Don't sell all your fries before I get here." Amara grinned. "No promise-o. Bring better money." As the Kiki pulled away, Tunde looked back at her waving, her small figure glowing against the dusty road. "Bye, uncle," she shouted, her laughter trailing behind. Late that night, in a modest hotel room, Tunde sat on his bed, unbuttoning his shirt. His fingers brushed a faint, star-shaped birthmark on his side, a mark he'd always ignored. But that afternoon, when Amara had tripped and her dress shifted, he'd seen it, the same star-shaped mark on her side. His breath caught. Could it be? Amara was 10. Her mother, Nkechi. The name stirred something deep. 11 years ago, Tunde had been a student at Unilag, in love with a girl named Nkechi. Their romance was brief but intense. Late-night talks, shared dreams, her laughter like music. Then came a scholarship to London. He'd left in a rush, leaving only a hasty note. He'd tried to find her later, but she'd vanished, no social media, no trace. Years later, a friend mentioned seeing Nkechi, pregnant and alone, but Tunde assumed she'd moved on. Now, Amara's mark, her age, her spirit, it all fit. Tunde's heart pounded. Was she his daughter? He had to know. Tomorrow, he'd return to Ajebamidele, not just for work, but for answers. The next day, Tunde stood at the same junction, his suit crisp despite the heat. Femi stood by the SUV, fanning himself with a magazine. "We wait," Tunde said firmly. Femi raised an eyebrow. "For that small girl?" Tunde nodded. "Her mother. I think I knew her. Nkechi, from Unilag." Femi's eyes widened. "That Nkechi? The one you always talked about?" Tunde didn't answer, his gaze fixed on the crowd. Then, a familiar voice rang out. "Uncle Tunde." Amara ran toward him, her tray steady, her smile brighter than the sun. "Mara." Tunde knelt, catching her in a hug. "I told you I'd come back. And I tell you this my street," she teased. "You want food?" "My mama's yam fries sweet passed yesterday on." Tunde smiled, his heart racing. "Take me to your mama. I want to meet her." Amara's eyes lit up. "For real?" She go like you. Come, let's go. They walked through Ajebamidele's chaos, Amara chattering about her mama's cooking and her street friends. At a small compound, Nkechi stood over a frying pan, her movement steady as yam sizzled. She looked up, and their eyes met. Tunde, she whispered, her hands trembling. Nkechi, he said, stepping closer. Amara bounced between them. Mama, this my friend Uncle Tunde. Him buy all my market yesterday. Nkechi's eyes filled with tears. How you find us? Your daughter found me, Tunde said softly. Nkechi, why didn't you tell me? She looked away, her voice breaking. You left. No number, no address. I found out I was pregnant after. I looked for you, but you were gone. Tunde's throat tightened. I searched for you too. I didn't know. Amara frowned, sensing the weight. Mama, you know Uncle Tunde? Nkechi laughed through tears. Yes, baby. We were friends long ago. Tunde knelt beside Amara. I think I'm your papa. I want to be here now, for you and your mama. Nkechi's eyes softened. Tunde, it's been 10 years. Say we can try again, he pleaded. For her. For us. Amara giggled, wrapping her arms around them both. My mama and papa go be best friends. We go chop yam fries every day. Femi, watching from the gate, grinned. Oga, this one non-Nollywood film As the sun set, casting gold over the compound, Tunde, Nkechi, and Amara stood together, their hands linked. A broken past was mending, one fry at a time. Days later, Tunde watched Nkechi hang clothes in the compound while Amara played nearby, her laughter filling the air. Nkechi, he said, stepping forward, you and Amara deserve better. A house in Lekki, a car, comfort. Nkechi's smile was cautious. This is our home, Tunde. The people, the smells, the life, it's us. Amara ran over, hugging him. Daddy, you want carry us go big house? Tunde shook his head, smiling. No, princess. We stay here, but things go better. Amara clapped. Better how? A fine school, Tunde said. A bus to carry you. You'll still play with your friends, but you'll learn big things. Her eyes sparkled. School bus? With my name. Tunde nodded. Nkechi took his hand, her voice soft. Thank you for not uprooting us. In the weeks that followed, Amara started at a new school, her uniform crisp, her bus honked every morning. Nkechi's stall got a new sign and a license, her customers doubling. Tunde visited every weekend, bringing groceries, helping with homework, fixing leaks. Their life stayed rooted in Ajebamidele, but it grew stronger, fuller, a family reborn in the heart of the hustle.